and welcome to Finally Fabulous with me, Kate. Finally Fabulous is the podcast that shines a light on some incredible women as they embrace what we like to call their fuck it moment to bring the joy back into their lives. Today, we're in Lucie's studio. Now, I'm joined today by wonderful Lucie. Hi, Lucie.
Hello, hi.
I'm so excited to be in your studio.
I'm really happy to have you here.
Look at our beautiful backdrop. So, Lucie, I already feel like we're going to become firm friends. We've only known each other for a matter of months.
Chatted about everything.
Everything in between. But what strikes me is you're absolutely full of life. You have this wonderful, generous spirit and empathy at your core. And you're a strong, independent, authentic woman and a creative genius. And also a mother of two gorgeous kids, an artist and everything else as well. So absolute privilege to have you on the podcast today,
There's
Lucie.
a lot going on and, I'm really excited to do this and just talk the out there.
And I even love the fact that you had this kind of premonition that you're going to be on a podcast.
Absolutely.
And
I really wanted to talk more, get kind of not really my life, because my life is kind of like a lot of other people's lives, but just I know what I do and the work and everything connects with a lot of women.
It does.
So I definitely had written down that, and now
Please
it's happened.
Be on the podcast. Now here we are.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. Welcome. One of the themes of today's conversation, which I love from having our pre-conversation, is around choose yourself.
Yeah.
And for me, it really links to the way that you're empathetic and how, sometimes we're so empathetic with other people that we actually forget about ourselves.
Yeah.
And I see myself in that actually quite a lot as well.
Yeah.
And it can be quite hard, can't it? You absorb everybody else's emotions and you want to be there for everybody.
Yeah.
But it can actually have, positive, not really negative, but you know what I mean? It can be, there's two sides to that coin where you kind of start to lose yourself.
Definitely. And I definitely have in the past, and everything that's happened recently, I'd probably say in around past, I don't know, maybe 3 years specifically, has made me it's been a wake up call.
Right.
Like lots of different things occurring that's made me go, I can't still be the way I was and deal with all this
at the same
because
time.
I'm just going to be trampled on emotionally. It's just too much.
And trampled on is such a coined phrase, isn't it? I mean, it means so much, and it really visually explains how that can feel, as a visual thing, being trampled and literally like the life being sucked out of you.
Not having that natural energy that I know I have when I'm feeling really good, like now, and having that capacity to sort of stretch around things and go, no, I can do this and that and that. And, as women, we multitask so much, but sometimes I'm like, God, I've got so much energy. Well, I didn't have that for a really long time.
Yeah.
Certainly in the relationship, the past one. And also I sometimes find it now more, with my mum who's unwell and having to do a lot of caring and hospital appointments and admin around that, which takes so much time. And emotionally that being very draining and trying to keep on top of it, because it came particularly at a time when I was working on a lot of paintings and working on a show. And I was like, I can't let that affect me because I'll just go, I won't be able to produce anything. And at a private view, you're going to be like a mess, which obviously you can't be.
No. So you had that. So I love the way that you talk about stretching yourself around many things.
Yeah, I feel that. I really do. Because often people would say, oh, I don't know how you do that. You're so strong. I don't know how you've managed it, in relation to the toxic relationships specifically. So I would get that all the time. And it just kept going round and round in my head about, oh, I don't know how you do it. And it's like, well, you do.
Yeah,
you do stretch, and it's amazing how much you can do that. But then the flip side is I have changed quite a lot of my lifestyle as well. And like we'll talk about, my children have had to adapt with me, and we talk a lot because they're at an age where I think that's really important anyway to help them. So
we're now going to dive straight into your first fuck it moment. Well, I think that's probably a few before that as well. But anyway, this one we're going to focus on, which I love, is like having being so courageous to be able to walk out of your first career job, which is brilliant. But there was reasons behind it. And I think that time in your 20s is just so much pressure, isn't there?
Definitely. And also, I'd moved to London.
Yeah.
I'd got my degree. I did really well, I was this show we had, like post-graduation show in London, was incredible. I had so many business cards, people wanting to do work with me, and I had like trips to New York and selling like swimwear designs, and it was like, it all sounds really fun. And it was fun. It was in a beautiful area in London, working with two amazing women. But at the time, also because I'd just moved to London, I'd also met a core group of friends that were all going out a lot,
right?
Clubbing, dancing, lots of DJs, and it was just really fun.
Yeah, really sounds
So
fun.
I was doing a lot of that, and then coming in and working, and it was a small workshop, so it wasn't like a big studio where you could possibly hide.
Okay.
So, and we were all three blonde, opinionated women, right?
Yeah.
And so it got to the point where I was like, I'm finding I can't have this conversation again today. I just don't think I can bear it. I can't be in this room.
Right.
And that happened a lot. And it's not against them. It was like, I just felt like there was probably way too much going on. And here I was doing something that's really cool, but am I really in it? It just all felt like it was going on around me. And I was like doing these things, but I wasn't in it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Present. Anyway, yes.
So you wrote to
one day, and it's a bit build up, and I just went to the bathroom, and I just remember sort of going, oh my God,
it's horrible.
And I just left.
Good for you.
And it was kind of crazy. And I got on the train. I think I came down to Surrey actually, and I just turned up at my mum's house, and we chewed the fat and drank some wine, and I was just like, I can't do it. I don't know, I just can't. I do remember her calling me, we sort of talked it out, but I just wish, looking back, I could have just been a bit more open.
I mean, it is, it's brave to walk away from that and really go, it's not right for me. Yeah. I'm putting myself first. I know this is not going to be the right thing for everyone else.
Yeah, I did feel a bit trapped in that repetitive
I've got to go
format of doing it. And rather than maybe think I could have actually done what I wanted to do in that world, like textiles design, and worked for someone where it wasn't that kind of high fashion thing where its turnover is really quick, But yeah, well, I didn't really have a grand plan.
Well, that's fuck it moment one. Definitely is a fuck it moment.
Yeah, it was.
And afterwards, did it feel like a failure or did it feel like relief?
Well, the relief was quite short-lived because, I think it was short-lived. Initially, I was like, and then I was like, the guilt. Yeah. So then the guilt.
Okay.
I've let them down.
Yeah.
All of that, which is not good, really. I did feel bad because we used to do everything together.
Right.
So I did feel like it was my fault, really, that I should have been able to
deal with it better.
Say something and deal with it in a more mature way. But I mean, I don't think, obviously, I wasn't mature and I didn't have that language then.
No, you didn't have that language. I really didn't. And, I still feel my going in point is, okay, you could have handled it differently. All that hindsight is great now. But if it wasn't right, to actually get out of that situation, and so often we're trapped inside a situation, especially work.
I know.
And you feel, in this corporate job and and it's like, I can't do something about it. I have to follow the rules.
I think I just wanted to do something. In my heart, I knew that there was something more creative and a bit more like that would evolve the flow of like how my life was, with how I was painting and musically and everything. And actually, that did again sort of happen, did evolve into that for a bit.
Right.
A while after.
What was it that you did?
Because so after that, I I got a studio in East London with a friend, and then was doing bits by myself, freelancing, freelance textile designer, doing bits like that. And then through the music and that scene and DJs and various other people that were working visually at that time, like in the 90s, it was really fun with music, and you could do like album covers. And then I had
The album covers
had friends that were working
then.
with certain artists, and they go, "Oh, can you do? Do you think you can do some painting for this?" And like, so I did lots of work then. And then I was producing quite a lot of work, and then I had a few shows at this place called Dragon Bar, which was like a really massive place. At that time, it was really cool, and I was friends with the owner, and we were all like this little clan of creatives.
And when you look back on, walking out of that job, that was actually the right thing to do, because this new world it was actually about you.
It felt really like me, but like the fun version that was, I probably had too much fun at points for sure.
Why not?
I definitely did. I definitely did.
And unfortunately, you have been through a really tough relationship. Yeah, and I've had a few of those as well in my past.
Unfortunately, it's very common, isn't it?
Yeah,
we find out.
It is, and it's something that we really wanted to talk about today, because if there's people going through the same thing, I really want them to recognise, that it's quite common.
Yes.
And if you see the signs, or if you know somebody who's seen the signs, there are ways to to get out of it. And I had a couple when I was younger, but more recently it was a rebound relationship, and from my divorce and from Alice's dad, and on the face of it, it was somebody who came into my life, and it was rebuilt my confidence, and gave me, told me I was beautiful and all those charming things that you just want to hear at the time. And slowly but surely, the coercive control really started to kick in, and he clearly felt threatened, and I just wanted to have a good time. And unfortunately, he had nothing at all, not a bean to his name. And when he moved into the house, it took me 6 months then to get him out. And because he'd been there for 6 months, he actually could have taken everything that I'd, locked down.
Yeah, that's a terrifying thing, and often that does happen.
Frightening.
Yeah.
And then finally, when he actually said, he tried to get me to choose between Alice and him, which was, that was then an easy decision. But to make sure it happened, my sister actually sat right next to me and put the phone on speaker so that she could hear what he said to me, to make sure that I would say the right thing, and whatever he said back to me, I would still be strong enough to say, no, this is it, this is the end. And he still tried. And after that, he was stalking me and all sorts.
I mean, that personality type doesn't stop trying and to get through. And like crap, if you're starting to see confidence, they know that, and they don't like it, so they just try. They don't want you to say no. That's like the worst thing you can do, which I definitely realised, unfortunately, and sort of, after what happened to me, it was after the initial no that actually it was all much worse. Right. That was the worst stuff, because it was stuff that was really personal and affected me and my children and my mum, and that was the hardest thing to deal with, actually. Everybody just gets involved in it, and no one really knows. My friends and Alice was also right inside it with me, but they don't really know, because you become this different person that they haven't seen you before, so then they don't really know how to relate to you or how to tell you that it's not okay. So it's really hard for those around you as well to say something. But, I just think if you can see something happening, do try and talk to that person. So I know that's a way that, in the end, it was my sisters who helped me out of that. Yeah, it was very toxic, and I think, I don't know if people would have been able to say, I think they would have been scared to say something. That's true. Because of, especially in the world I work in, for sure, that art world, because if they know that person, which a lot did, then, it's a really tight community. It's just so tricky. And I... Because he was in that same community as well, right? It's really hard. And that, for me, was so distressing, because you feel like that. I went through a real phase of just like, I just locked everything down, and I didn't communicate. I wasn't using social media even, because things would crop up. I had to cut so much out, and it was just exhausting. And really, I was disappointed a lot with people that would stand up for that individual. And when knowing that they did not know the truth of what that person was doing to me at that time, coercively, behind the scenes, with financial abuse. it was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And people in the art world knew, and it was very heavy for me, like to work around. And I just had to just go through it really in order to sort of come out the other side, because I couldn't avoid it at all. I had to unfortunately deal with it. And I read a lot.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And once I discovered actually quite a groundbreaking moment was when I was reading a book about narcissistic personalities and relationships. And there was a whole chapter on, second time around, if you get, and I was like, oh my God, this is literally, and it was really upsetting, but kind of this, I sort of felt really elated because I was like, I thought it was just me.
Yes.
And there's a whole chapter, which means there must be thousands of other people. And so I consumed so many books at that time because I wasn't going out, and I couldn't really sleep. So I was just reading loads, and then I got the language and I understood what all these things were and
what was happening.
Kind of, you just then do come through it.
Yeah, you do, and you do come through it. And it's normally a turning point that happens, whatever that is. It's like an event or something that just tips you over the edge. But it is really hard because when you're in that kind of controlling, manipulative relationship, your confidence is literally the very inside of you's been sucked out. And it's really hard to kind of rebuild again. And even afterwards, then you start second guessing yourself because that person is on the outside is charming, like you're saying. Nobody understood it. You know, people think he's the best thing since sliced bread, and it's then you're kind of fighting against what they think. It's like really hard.
That person is always going to be the way they are. They're not going to change.
Exactly.
They're never going to change. And actually that's okay, because I am not there. I've removed myself and everything's been cut away completely.
Good.
So when you then feel that sort of safety inside, knowing there's no return, there's no 5 years time, that drip, which is what they do. And, and also speaking to so many other women that have gone through exactly the same thing. You post maybe a little thing or a little touch of something, some of my work, which sort of reads into that. And people would message me. And then I found that just so inspiring. And it does make you want to talk about it more, for sure.
It does.
But then also it's like how you talk about it is important, because I think you have to be able to talk about it in kind of a way that's like almost not like you're completely cured from it, but like you feel you don't have that attachment. Where you're like, oh.
I understand. But you have to be free of it.
Not feeling like really angry, I guess, when you lose that anger, because you do obviously feel a lot of anger and hurt and you're confused because you've lost confidence. Because coercive relationships, they just eat away at that.
Yeah, they do.
And then you have to sort of remember, oh no, hold on. Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck it. Absolutely fuck that. And it's all about, or it's also about, I found that once I got through that, almost like the shock, and it is like PTSD is like a shock trauma that you go through. And then you kind of go through this kind of self-loathing thing where you're like, what an idiot. Why couldn't I see that?
Mine was like, I felt like I'd wasted so much time.
Why
I wasted so much time? When I saw the signs, why did I? But that's when I would then find another book.
And for me, it's
really
like
helpful.
Talking to people like you're saying, and just people going, no, because remember this and because of that and because of this. Oh yeah, that's right. But it is hard, and I'm really pleased to hear that you've come out the other side of that. And my radar is definitely up now. If I see it happening amongst friends or my family or anybody, it's like it did make me absolutely locked down after that. I became really independent. Nobody was getting in. Alice and I were in this complete.
That's probably the phase I'm in. I'm just in that. I can't imagine no one's getting into my realm, which is here. My home, my kids. It's just, I'm completely fine. That. It feels really good. We all know where we are. Safe. We're all working around each other. And like I said before, stretching to each person's needs, but I can't even imagine for a second someone trying to, I'd just be like, nope, there's no way.
And whenever you're ready, if you're ready, you know, that's totally up to you, right?
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it does also go back to that point we made at the beginning about being empathetic, because I can be so empathetic that I can be actually quite naive. And that's the biggest thing I felt afterwards, was like I was so naive. I just implicitly trusted and believed everything that he was saying to me.
Yeah. Even when it was like, you kind of knew it was a lie. Yeah. That's what I find, you know, but then you go, I think it's because you don't want to, you can't imagine as an empath that, I mean, I read this actually in one of the books when I had the same thing. And then it was like, because you're the empath, you can't imagine that someone would do that. Yeah. So you can't imagine someone that you've gone through all that and said, and your kids had called dad, even though it's not their dad's, that they would do those emotionally disturbing things to you. Yeah. And you can't imagine that because you're an empath, so that's okay. And sort of just going, okay, no, that's all right. Because I used to question it a lot, going, but I understand why, or waste time. But you can't ever understand why, because you're not, thankfully, that way inclined. No. So you can't. You can't just, and like you say, the person's not going to change. The only thing you can do is literally just to take there's lots of sort of small things when you realise that. I think the reason I went back to mine was because I so believed the whole, spiel, I want to get better, and I want. I mean, it's the biggest pile of shit. Yeah, total Can bullshit. I say that? It is that. It's just such a lie that they use to get you in that soft space. Yeah. And they want, I used to, you're the only person that can make me feel better. No. Nope. No,
fuck off.
Nope.
We don't need that. Fuck that. So and it is that kind of fight or flight, mentality. Yes. And you'd already been through it before in that job. And, there you are again, this relationship. So coming out of that relationship, thank goodness, then you're able to reclaim your autonomy.
Yes.
Your independence, like we're saying. And it's a major turning point, really. Like no single moment. It's just like a major turning point altogether. Coming out of that.
Like lots of things kind of happening, I suppose. But I think it was like small steps initially, keeping things quite simple. I mean, because afterwards I felt quite exhausted. Yeah. It's exhausting, isn't it, once you go through that? And then, okay, fine, it's all the legalities are done.
Well, yes, because you were married. Yeah.
For 5 seconds. Yeah. I mean, AKA like 3 months before the thing happened, and that was it. Mm-hmm. So, which feels like, I don't feel like I was married, You are exhausted.
Yeah, totally.
So I really kept it like really simple and was like really healthy. And I was going to sauna a lot. I found that really like to sound like, it was like very healing.
Yes.
It just felt like it was shaking off all the like debris in my brain when I was dipping under the cold water. It was just really
refreshing.
Totally, it really worked. And going to gym. And then like started painting when I had time on my own, or when the kids were in school, like these like larger pieces of work. And it was like, that's how I could then sort of express myself after all of that. Because I couldn't talk about a lot of it. A lot of it was very private then still. I felt not really... I couldn't talk like this. A period of time had to pass, even though I was talking, people would DM me that would recognise things or something I'd painted and go, oh, I really connect with that thing you wrote on that. Yeah. Sometimes it was just I'd film something on my desk and it was a small piece of paper that said something. And I'd get messages. People message me and I was like, this is really amazing, actually. Because I wasn't advertising certain things or as well, you realise that it's not just you, there's more people
messages out there,
and
people...
it's working towards healing yourself, and then just feeling more comfortable in myself. That was really important, to feel comfortable and painting something I felt was me again, because around that time in that relationship I was doing things it wasn't really me, how I felt. So to be in this space, doing what I want, not answering to anyone.
And now, you actually turning this pain into art and community.
Yeah.
And you're inviting people into your studio, and you have workshops and people, and it's become this kind of healing place, hasn't it, for lots of people?
It really has. And that happened again, just really naturally. I did an open studios thing, but I was so determined. What I've gone through is not going to just rearrange anything, you know. I'm going to just keep going and it will work out.
Yeah.
And literally the first person that walked in was a woman on her own, and we were just, you know, she was like, oh, I just always wondered what you did. And she was just like being nosy, and I was like, oh, come in. We had a chat and we had a tea, and then she was talking to me about what she does, and she works in a very male-dominated environment, and then it was a relationship, and then she was telling me all these things. And I was like, wow, she's lived on my road forever, and like, we've never had a chat.
Wow.
And she told me all this really intimate stuff. And then the next person that came was a woman on the right. And basically the theme was there was lots of women turning up and talking and going, I love this piece of work. You know, the most moving moment was a woman who I'd met at sauna that I was going to. And I knew she'd had lots of health issues and operations. And she was looking at a folder of work I had with similar to that piece. It's like a female form with abstract paint marks on it. And she said, oh, why did you put this particular mark there? And she was asking questions, which I was like, gosh, I mean, I just paint. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I was a bit embarrassed that I couldn't answer her specifically.
Yes.
I was like, why do you ask? Because I don't, you know, generally it's just about balance, colour and liking a particular paintbrush or a particular spray paint nozzle.
Right. Just something comes to you.
And she went, oh, it's just each mark represents where I've had an operation. I've got to buy this piece. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh, wow.
And we hugged, and she bought it, and she put it up. She goes, I'm going to pride a place in my front room above my fireplace. And it was just...
Gosh, that's a movie that's giving me goosebumps.
It gave me goosebumps.
Wow.
It was incredible.
That's so profound.
It was literally like, wow. It wasn't what I was expecting. You know, when she went, why did you do that line there? I mean, well, and it represented her and what she'd gone through and how now strong she is mentally and physically and, you know, like...
So many resilient women.
There was a lot of that. And then from that, I thought I would maybe open it up to something more of a thing I would advertise. So that just slowly happened. And it's just small groups, you know. Nice. I have done one that was for a larger group that wasn't here. But and then the domestic abuse charity that helped me a lot asked me to get involved in a empowerment day, and they wanted me to do a creative sort of setup there, which was at the end of last year, which was amazing.
Fantastic.
It felt like so incredible to be asked and be part of that, because it just, again, just that moment of what they'd done for me. A bit of closure. Real closure. Yeah. It was like, I really, again, it's something I kind of wrote down that I wanted to do something with them, for them, with a different audience that they would have. And it wasn't all people, actually, because it was sort of centered around empowerment. So it wasn't all based around, you know, things that happen in domestic environment, but all sorts of things.
Yes. And was that a local charity to hear? What's the name of the charity?
Yeah, ESTAS.
ESTAS. Yeah. Okay.
East Surrey Domestic Abuse Services.
Okay.
And they're local.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, they're really amazing.
And it sounds to me like, you know, the gift that you have to give to others, you know, is your empath. You know, you're now channeling that through your workshops that you're doing with these amazing women, but it's through something that you're in control of, because it's about your art and your creativity. Yeah. It really feels like that. And sharing that,
I really like sharing and talking about, I do like talking, sharing your story, you know, when not everyone could sit, and so many women have gone through difficult things or life changes or finding their confidence
Yeah.
in their 50s, you're not really going to talk about it. But I really do love that.
Yeah, and I
sharing stories.
And exactly so do I. And I kind of recognise this gift of giving to your, within your control. And actually setting up the podcast for me is my version of that. So, I love being, I am empathetic, and I love talking to people about their stories and bringing them to the light. So talking to you, I've realised that that's what I'm also doing, through my creativity is talking and being ideas and sharing and community and things. And this is my version of what you're doing with your workshops.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, definitely. And just also, like, if you have, for me, like the recent exhibition that was a group exhibition, and it was linked with and for Women in Art, which has an amazing platform, and they do so much for female artists. And, being in a show and you're with women and you're all like helping each other out, or like, it's just the most amazing feeling. And then you make friends from it, you stay in touch, and you invite each other to things, and maybe do other projects together, and then things grow. And it's just, that is the best feeling.
It's really powerful.
I think women really are just so cool that they can connect instantly over something.
Yeah. And
it's really important, and you remember that person, then you message them and you follow it up, and, it does feel extra special, especially if you've gone through periods where you just don't feel yourself, and then you're in that environment and you're like, oh yeah, like I might not have wanted to do that really, but I'm so glad I did it. And always from those things, even if you're not sure, I've definitely always had something that's come off of that. Really, always.
There's always something like that, because you're in this inclusive environment. So everybody wants to help everybody else. And it is so worth it. It's so worth it. So I mean, always, if you're thinking, oh, I haven't got time, or it's eating into my diary, or not quite sure how I'm going to be in that place, and then maybe I'm a bit imposter syndrome, not quite sure. It's like, do it. Just do it. You'll come home smiling. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
So and then that kind of brings us on to how you are now, and setting boundaries around your tribe. And like we said, there's so much going on with work, and obviously your work is growing now. It's like go, and all sorts of opportunities are coming. You've got 2 kids who are now in their teenage years, so they can be a bit more independent maybe. So do you feel like that's allowing you now to go?
Yeah, really. Like, I've definitely made more effort to, if there's something I need to do, I feel I really need to do. Like the other night I went to an artist talk for an artist who I absolutely love. It's on a Tuesday night, and I'm like, who goes out on a Tuesday in London? I'm gonna go, because it's free. And again, I would never have done that before, and it feels really small, really, but it's not, because then you realise, oh, guess what? Everything's still intact and everyone's fine, and I'm really happy. And I thought, I don't
be true to yourself.
I want to make. What do I want to do? I want to make paintings again, because that's what I used to do. And so, okay, what about if I just do something nearby that I can get to and from really easily, a few days a week? Then I think about my artwork being this financial necessity, and then things will work out. And I remember saying it in my head, thinking, things will work out if that happens, but very casually. And then actually things have worked out, because then I started painting in a way again that's like, that is completely me and how I want it to be, and that one is, and that, do you know what I mean? And they are part of me. They're real, lived experience paintings, and people see things in them, and that's all I really ever wanted.
Fantastic.
And then I sell them, or
Great.
I don't. Do you know what I mean? That's equally okay, but it's like that just feels exactly what I wanted, because I just stepped back and thought, no, I need to just add something in, work something out, change that, let's see what happens.
And then you came up with a plan.
But sort of also, but I don't know, I just felt it would work out. And
I think that's because now you have you're in control of your life.
Well, I listen to my gut.
You listen to your gut.
Massively.
You're listening to yourself.
Before I just wasn't.
Circling back, you actually are choosing yourself. So what does joy look like to you now, do you think?
Well, definitely having time in here when I'm like had a good night's sleep and I feel like full of energy. Music up really loud.
Yeah.
Really loud.
Any type of music?
Dance music.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
Really loud dance music. And then my phone now just like basically, a lot of female stuff as well. Little Sims was last year, just Little Sims all day long.
I love
but now it's gone a bit more dancey. That was kind of like really like when I was going through my I can do this phase, and that she had that new album and it was incredible. And I was like, everything in that resonated. And then now it's more dancey, a bit more like ravey.
Okay, and, fantastic.
Yeah, and that just kind of, I don't know, being in here, good sleep, going to the gym again, but that's music related and that uplifting feeling, like genuinely feeling like, it's all good. Yeah. And, the odd, occasionally relaxing evening watching a movie with the kids when that gets to happen. But now they're teens.
Teens doesn't happen so much.
But
no, quite a well-being
there's a few,
things.
A lot of well-being things.
Yeah.
My health is definitely important, and I think it's made me, I feel I can listen to it sounds kind of witchy, but I do feel if I'm sort of cleaner inside, like, I still like to drink wine.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Of course.
Not everybody drinks wine, but
like,
for me it isn't, of course.
A lot less. Yeah. And I just feel like everything I can hear what I need to do because my brain's going, no, don't worry so much about that. And I go, your inner gut, your inner feelings.
Your inner feelings inside and outside.
Yeah.
You're just, more confident, more glowing, literally glowing, and the energy is there.
I don't know if I'm literally glowing, but sometimes if I've had a good sleep.
And so I think the takeaway from today is, if you don't find confidence, you build it by choosing yourself over and over again. And sometimes it is hard when you're inside these horrible situations, but try and choose yourself.
Definitely, because I definitely looked for other things to make me happy.
You only have one life. Yeah. We're chunking through our lives. Yeah. And make sure you do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Biggest takeaway for me.
Yeah. No, it's so important to just get what you like. Like I wanted to do the paintings.
Yeah.
How do I get to that? And then everything else has worked out, and I feel like calm. Happy, and just like, I don't know, everything, like I said, it just feels like it's fitting perfectly, rather than fighting against things or trying to control things. Just letting things kind of sit and be is really
brilliant.
Important.
And we the name of this podcast is Finally Fabulous, because we love the fact that, and we use the term fabulous to mean people who have come through something really tough, and for themselves, whatever that version of fabulous is for them, is unique to that person. And for us, you are finally fabulous. And
thank you.
We are absolutely so delighted to hear your story today. Thank you so much for sharing and for being so candid and open and honest. It's been a wonderful chat.
Thank you.
And we've loved being in your studio and surrounded by you.
Yeah,
this is all
you.
It's a
great setup.
Yeah. Thank you, Lucie.
Thank you
very much.
Thanks.